and so it has to be on its charger while I'm doing the stream, and maybe I can just like smush it in between my stream deck. Yeah, that works. How are you guys? How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. The Thursday stream. Let me tell you, I'm so excited to get back to like the regular streams over on Twitch after this next week, because we discovered that we can play quarantines out in a way that actually allows Twitch integrations. And so everyone can pop in and like be an infected person or potentially infected person. Let's be real, they're all like at least somewhat infected in the game, and I'm really excited about that. I think it's cool. So I'm excited to get back into that. How are you guys doing though? I'm gonna do a little bit of work as we're kind of talking here, primarily because the what the fuck? Other emails. I'm supposed to get a I've got cat updates, but I was not sent. All right, well, never mind. So I cat updates. Let me get to that first. Also, hi, Cyber Ninja. One of the things that I wanted to update you guys on is I have 2 cats officially on the way. Their adopted names, like the unofficial names that they came with, are fucking Magic Myler and Hoodoo Boo Boo. They're all named after like ski slopes or like ski things around here, snow activities, I suppose. It's called like the snow litter or something like that. I just need to do like an onboarding session with the I already met the cats like virtually, and I already met their foster mom, who's taking care of them until they're old enough to go to the shelter. But at this point, they're just gonna come straight to me instead once they get spayed and neutered and have their microchips all in. I just need to do an onboarding session, pay all the fees, and then I'm good to go. I also need to get my leasing office and let them know, had an addendum to my rent, which turns out pet rent, it's like $50 a month for 2 cats. And that's not the bad part. The bad part is there's a $500 deposit, a pet deposit that I have to add on to my existing deposit per animal. So it's gonna be $1,000 to have these kittens around. And so it's gonna be a little bit rough. But other than that, I have names all set up. I'm all good to go. I'm excited. I'm quite happy. So that'll be happening soon. And then what else? I have names picked out. I don't want to reveal the names yet. Maybe I'll do it on stream. But I had to pick out names in order to add them to my pet rent because there's no like way to do it without. Apparently they need like name, breed, which is wild because I don't know their cats. I don't know cat breeds. Their weight, which I can just kind of guess, I suppose, and things like that. So I have to turn all that into my office. I'll probably do that while I'm chatting with you guys actually. But yeah, that's the cat update. We also have what other updates are there? PAX East plans are well on their way, so that's exciting. Hi, Solo. Hello, Ivan. Hi, Scott. Good to see you guys. How are y'all? Beyond that, yeah, I don't know. Toto Boy says cats will breed. That, yep, they do that. Yeah, they're getting spayed and neutered, so thank God I don't have to worry about that. It also helps that they're not going to be outdoor cats. By the way, outdoor cats are like basically a crime against nature. Don't have your cat be an outdoor cat, y'all. It's bad. It's like categorically bad, like really not good. They're not only an invasive species, which doesn't have as much weight as it used to, because everything's basically an invasive species, but they're like hella invasive and also really bad for wildlife. It's bad for the cat itself. It's really not good. But Solo Studio says categorically, yeah. But what else? Yeah, sorry, I have to hold you guys like awkwardly because my phone is basically dead. I've been filming all day. Filming kind of a story time, kind of like a what do you call it? Like a kind of a story time, kind of like a lessons learned, don't fucking do this thing, but I need to ask some people's permission before I tell the story, so I'm waiting for that to go through before I have today's post. So if you're looking for today's post, it's coming. Someone said, is this stream gonna be like a continuous thing? Yeah, so this is something I do every Thursday, and it's something that's at 5 o'clock usually, but it's like give or take a couple minutes, you know. It's gonna take like, it's usually a little bit late just due to the fact that my phone is usually dead. So there's that. Hello everyone, welcome in. But yeah, let's see what else. I think I can show you guys. Can I show you guys? I might be able to show you like pictures of at least one of the cats. Yeah, let me show you. This is her. This is the girl. She's the cutest little thing. She's so small. Ren says, what time is it for you? It is currently 5-ish. 5:13-ish. So not too bad. Is it daytime? It is. Not for much longer. The sun is setting. It's been setting for a little while. It's wintertime. I live up in Oregon, and so it's very much like, you know, the sun has a low arc around this time of year just due to the tilt of the earth and all that sort of nonsense. And so, you know, but let's see. Ren says it's 8:13 for me. Yeah, so I run into, I think almost everyone I work with is like basically on the East Coast, and so 90, I don't actually know very few other content creators in my field or like people in my field in general who are on the West Coast. And so most of the time I'm either up at the ass crack of dawn to take meetings on one end of things, or I'm chilling at like 6 o'clock while everyone else is in session zeros or D&D games or whatever that are like incredibly what do you call it? It's like incredibly late for them, and they're struggling to hang on. But yeah. All right, I should probably, let me do this. I'm gonna unplug that. Put you guys like here, because I gotta answer an email real fast. I have to send my leasing office a couple different things. If they actually, I did walk in, and I was like, hey, the SpongeBob Rich says world the longest lake trench doesn't have what we want. Buddy boy, trust me, I don't need that kind of money. But 7 Inches says you should do the sub-only stream. Ah, yeah, I could. Let's see. Ba-ba-ba. Usually, chat filter. The problem is it's really difficult to do on mobile because it pulls you away from the stream entirely. Let's see. Participant mode. Yay. Cool. Oh my gosh, wait. Dude, how is the Discord change thing coming along? I haven't seen any updates. I heard vaguely that it got worse. Does anyone know the news now? Because I heard that it was like they basically like lied to us, I guess, is how it was going. I don't know. I'm also getting asked a lot like, hey, are we going to move away from Discord? Answer is I have no idea. I don't know where anyone else would go. Someone said that TeamSpeak is coming up with like potentially some options, but they're not updating fast enough to be viable as an alternative. So it says definitely helps weed out the staff. Yeah, I always forget to do that. They don't allow you to turn it on before the stream starts, which is kind of annoying. You have to wait till the stream starts and then turn it on. And then it does like a whole thing. 7 Inches says Discord change. Yeah, so there's this thing that's happening where Discord is, and I'll kind of go over it briefly because we talked about it already on like a different stream. It's the little thing where Discord is turning on age verification, where in order to get out of basically teen-only settings, you have to either have a long enough chat history with enough information for Discord's like systems to know that you're an adult based on context of what you've said in the past and what you've done in the past, or you have to submit your ID or do a face scan in order to verify that you're over the age of 13. If they don't, then you get locked to like a teen-only account where you can't really use DMs and you can't go into age-restricted servers. Now the thing is, the system that they're using in order to like verify all that information, first of all, Discord has had data leaks in the past, and the system that they're using to verify their information is third party. So they're taking your information and sending it off to someone else to verify. And then it's like, there's a lot of questions being raised about it. It's like, well, if you're just doing this to protect kids, then what the hell is the point of having all these kids in with unverified accounts? All an adult has to do is just not verify their account, and then they can still be in the same space as children. Like, it's not two separate spaces. It's not putting people in buckets the way that I think that they intend to, right? So a lot of people are like, this is shitty, and so, you know, I don't have content that appeals to children, and I very much make it so that like all of my streams and everything like that is 18 plus. But at the same time, I'm not going to ask people to verify it with their like biometric data or their ID. You know, so people are saying like, oh, do we move away from Discord now? I actually am on, I got interviewed by GameSpot to talk about it, to be like, you know, hey, here's how it is from the D&D YouTuber perspective. And the interviewer was like, yeah, do you use D&D for all your games? Or Discord for all your D&D games? And I'm like, yeah, honestly, I do. And I was like, I've been around for a long ass time on the internet. I lived through IRC. I lived through like fucking, back when Skype was a thing, TeamSpeak, basically everything leading up to Discord, until they all fell off, and now Discord is all that's left. They have cornered the market, you're right. But Yeah, I don't know. Solo says that my main concern is that I've used Discord to organize my campaigns for years, which means I have thousands of messages containing campaign notes that I do not want to lose. I have heard that it might be TeamSpeak is working on a way to export everything, including server setup. And yeah, what Lino said, saying that I'm sure there's some script that can scrape Discord messages for you. I've heard that that is a thing. I've heard they're kind of working on that sort of stuff. Not 100% sure. Crayhack says, what buckets are we putting people in? I believe it's straight up just like something where, hold on, Discord age verification. Yeah, okay, so it's got teen by default settings. So essentially, they're going to make it so that everyone is considered a teen account until you prove otherwise, which then means that adults who don't want to prove their identity are still locked in with a bunch of kids, which seems like a weird approach if you're actually saying that you're doing it to protect the kids, you know? Craig says, I'm going to be sad at the death of Discord. My account is as old as Discord, oh my god, wait, hold on. As Discord is, my Dota team was in the first 100 users. That's wild. Oh my god. And Pseudo says throwbacks to Skype and TeamSpeak. Yeah, I know, right? Wayne Hacktalk says, wait, Discord is going away. It's not going away. It's just implementing some really sus like privacy stuff where they're asking for like IDs and facial scans for verification. And so I don't know. Solo says, so we're all gonna be teenagers, I guess, because no way am I giving them my biometrics. Yeah, it sucks. So I turned off the age restriction on the community Discord for our channels, but I'll probably make it so that like in the rules you have to say like, you know, I am over the age of 18 in my case. So, let's see. There's like a mega thread talking about it over on Reddit, which is, you know, when it comes to like fucking, God, I'm not a big Reddit user, right? But when it comes to the community on the internet actively discussing something in a relatively like community voted way, the upvote and downvote system makes it so it's honestly a really solid place to go to gather opinions and figure out what exactly is happening from both sides. And people are pretty okay about being devil's advocate to each other, which is annoying in almost every other context. But when it comes to shit like this, it's kind of helpful to go there and just see what's going on. Grippy says, I'm not sure how that makes sense. Oh, yeah, right? Are you talking about the verification system or like which part? Oh yeah, and then Wayne says, unfortunately, any tool can be used for evil. Yeah, it's not great. Also, a lot of people are just upset about the fact that, and someone brought this up, the fact that Discord has had its own market cornered for so long that they no longer have a way to increase their profits because they basically done everything already, right? That's why they started introducing a bunch of extra features that no one asked for in order to monetize extra, because there's nothing left to monetize. Like they've already got everyone that they need. They're basically a monopoly, right? And so what they did was they ended up adding super reacts, and they started adding like, you know, Discord Nitro and putting limits on how much text you can put in a normal chat and making it so you have to pay for extra. Same with like the amount of attachments and the size of attachments that you can send. They put that behind a paywall. So it's like the enshittification of Discord, right? And so this is kind of just like a final straw. Just call me Mark says Slack has a chance to take over. I think so, but I think Slack is more, you have to pay for it, right? I'd assume. I don't know how free Slack goes. Eternus also says, I'm not advertising, but Discord did take my AI generated ID and so did Reddit. So, oh, Jesus. So like they just full on verified it and we're like okay with it. Well, but the UK uses like its own separate system, right? Like where it goes to government servers and then checks, as opposed to like Discord checking. But oh yeah, Grippy says, I'm saying, I don't get how not verifying your account brings people closer to other unverified children's accounts. Yeah, so it's like you all get put into like a default pool, and until you prove you're an adult, you're not taken out of that pool and put in with other adults. You just are locked to teen-only settings, which means you're putting a bunch of potentially pedophiles in with a bunch of teenagers, you know? And that means that you can't use you can use DMs and things like that. You just can't use them as effectively. And it's like really kind of unclear what that means. And so it's like it's ineffective. You're not separating adults from teens. You're just throwing everyone into the teen by default category, if that makes sense, which is not safer. Craig says, I feel like my account age should default me to an adult. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen. Oh, Slack is freeable. You just can't use enterprise Slack for free. Interesting. Yeah, in that case, I'd be down. Slack is basically just Discord but corporate anyway, you know, and without like an insane amount of paid features. Like you can add custom emojis all you want and all that sort of stuff. We don't have super reacts. Yeah, I would move to Slack in like a fucking heartbeat. I wonder if they're taking all of this into account, because Slack is very much like, enterprise ready stuff. It's very much like corporate stuff. So I wonder if they're looking at the gaming space at all. Duke says, my character limits mean I have to post my session summaries for players in 5 or 6 seconds. Also, hi, Duke. Hi! Eternum says, it's the same American third-party parties authenticating IDs here in the UK. Maybe because it's a UK ID being checked in America, their automated tool isn't as effective. That would make sense. That is wild, though, that worked. Grippy says, but are these unverified accounts in some kind of chat room together? They can be, yeah. So it's like, if you're in an unverified account, you're defaulted to teen-only servers, and you can't go into the adult account. It's like you have less places to hang out except with other kids, if that makes sense. Assuming that you are also a child, which chances are some of these people aren't. Oh yeah, Matt says I can even use my face because I'm 26, but I look young, so the Face ID has never worked for me. I'd have to use my ID, which I will not do. Duke says, oh my gosh, but then also that's on me for my D&D summaries being like a couple thousand words. Michael says, the idea being that unverified adults, essentially people you don't believe are who they say they are, will be forced to interact with children who are already being preyed upon the internet. Exactly, yeah. Solo says, the big tinfoil hat concern is also the verification software Discord is using is backed by Palantir, which provides data to the government. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've never been one to be like, oh my god, the government has my data, mostly because they have my data whether I want it or not. They're the one giving me my ID. The problem is the sale... Not even so much the sale and use of it. It's just like, I don't like the fact that Discord is pretending to do it for the sake of protecting the kids when in reality that's absolutely not what they're doing. Because if it was, they wouldn't be executing it this way. Also, the fact that like parents should just parent and kids shouldn't, in my opinion, be on the internet at all to a certain degree. Obviously, that then raises questions about what do like queer kids in unsafe spaces do to communicate and find community, and that does need answering. But I think that's a bigger problem with society in general that can't be solved by Discord having age verification, you know? Anyway. Anyway. Oh my god, I was sending an email. Right. But let's see. Oh yeah, and the other thing is that like Discord leaked a fuck ton of IDs recently. Like they had a massive data breach in October. And so there's like zero trust considering it was less fucking than 4 months ago, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Griffey says, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what protecting children is a company issue rather than a parenting issue. Yeah, dude, me either. Parents should just fucking parent. It's absolutely wild that it's come to things like this, but I don't know. At the same time, we're in an age where people are raising iPad kids, you know, and like, I think at broad, more resources need to be out there for parents to actually parent properly, as opposed to just letting people just do what they want with their kids. You know? So, John says, it's really open a space of a company to make a handshake app, like a third-party app that just tells the other site, yep, old enough and nothing else. So I feel like, wouldn't it be easier if there was a government tool that just did that integrated in with these sites, especially if the government is the one that's asking for compliance with age verification laws and things like that? Like if the government is asking, and correct me if I'm wrong here, this is all just me speculating because this is all super new to me and I'm not usually like in with security and things like that. Wouldn't it make more sense for the government, if they're putting out laws to protect children, especially in internet spaces, to create a tool of their own that then integrates with, you know, sites like Discord, sites like Reddit, any social media site, and then makes it so that the site never contains that information, but instead like a PayPal style widget shows up and it's like, hey, scan your ID, and then the government checks it against government records and then sends the thumbs up or thumbs down flag to the site, and then the site moves on. But Solo says, but then the third-party app is at risk of data breaches. At the same rate that, like, if it's a government app, then it's still just going to the government, though, wouldn't it? And then that would be like saying, well, no, it would be at risk. Would it be at risk through the integration, though? I don't know. And Matt says, what if a kid gets around the verification? That's the other thing, is kids are just gonna fucking do whatever they want anyway. There's no chance in hell that a kid's not gonna get around this sort of stuff. Like, it's the same thing where it's like fucking, you put up a firewall in a high school internet, like, network, and kids will get around it in like 3 seconds, you know? DB says, it would be easier, but given the pace of most government work, that would take multiple years to implement. That's true. And also, the IRS website still sucks, so I can't imagine that they do it well. Yeah, Draxus says any data stored online is at risk of being breached, though. Exactly. And, like, we already have things like voting records and stuff like that online. So what I'm saying is, like, if we already have it online, why not use the government's resources to check it as opposed to this third-party resource that we go through, if that makes sense? Boone says all they would need is to use AI to get around the age verification would be so easy. It would be. It really would be. Kids will get into anything, and there's a certain point where it needs to be a parent issue because it's like it's like fuck. What's the term? There's like a metaphor for like, hey, if you have, you know, we'll say like a bed, then you probably have bed bugs and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just management, you know, at this point, which isn't true. And that's not the metaphor I'm looking for here, but a similar thing where it's like, hey, if you have such and such, then you're guaranteed to have problems with such and such. If you have an internet, kids are going to get around it and like, they're going to do what they want to do. So it's really down to the parents to be parents, you know, at the end of the day. But, you know, Walking Damage says, given the state of how they're dismantling government programs, it would take a few years. I like the basis for the idea, though. Yeah, it's like also, if our government was better at literally doing anything, we'd be good about it. But it's just, it sucks. The system's so broken. All the systems. And the root causes of it are just so fundamentally broken as well that there's just fuck all we can do. I don't know. Eteria says the issue isn't the data being there, it's the data being linked. Suddenly your voting can be linked with you as a person because you posted anonymously on a political subreddit. Okay, that's a very good point. I remember someone bringing that up to me now where it's like, that's true, you don't want the government realizing what exactly in a traceable way to your ID you're doing all over the internet. That is a very good point. We can't trust our government to do that either. This sucks, dude. Hey guys, the American government's kind of shit. How crazy is that? What a concept. Oh, it's so broken. It's so broken. All of it. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Matt says, I can say as a former Air Force, the government definitely doesn't know how to use tech at all. Yeah. Yeah, and just call me Mark says, as a parent, it's my job to do the research and know the spaces my child is going to before they're going, and then monitoring the interactions. The company should have mods for public spaces and reporting systems. Yeah, it is, and that's like a reasonable parent's approach, you know? But, anyway. What was I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna email my let's see. Adding kittens to lease. Hey. I'm emailing real fast to kick off the process of adding 2 kittens to the lease at apartment number, which I won't say out loud. Here's the information requested from earlier. Let me know if I forgot anything. Kitten 1. I won't say the name out here, but it's asking for, I think she wanted name, breed, weight, age. What else did she want? What do leasing offices usually ask for? I totally forgot. Also, someone says, love the hair. Thank you. Oh yeah, let's see. 7 Inches says, heck, I'm not in the military, but I wanted to visit my buddy as he was graduating basic, and the page looked like it was 20 years old, if not more. Dude, yeah, oh my god. I remember when I was doing, not college applications, but like government scholarship. Was it the FAFSA? I think it was the FAFSA. Jesus. Even the exact shade of teal fucking blue that they had on their website haunts me. It was awful. Hi, Levi. Duke says, I was about to be really impressed you were saying one thing and typing another, and then just tuned in. As soon as I speak, whatever I'm typing just says that. Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm also just a fast typer. Oh, yeah, and Drake says, let's be fair, most representatives are probably old enough that they forget their passwords the moment they make them, and they're the ones who are running our tech shit. Yeah, dude, I hate it. We need an upper limit on age. But... Solar says the 8-bit cyan. Dude, yeah, the fastest site. Oh my god, I fucking hated that site. It gave me so much money, and it was almost not worth it. Because it was just god-awful. The site was so painful. And also trying to get your parents to do anything related to figuring out how much, like, I don't know how they managed to do their taxes every year, dude. Trying to get my dad to help me fill out the FAFSA forms, it was like pulling teeth. And then also pulling out eyeballs and fingernails at the same time with no fucking numbing agent. It was awful. They just don't know how to do shit, and they don't realize that it's necessary, but at the same time, they don't want to pay for college. It's awful. DB says, also probably a brief description, so the 2... Oh, can be verified as the ones you have. Yeah, I think photo was what they were asking for. Let me do... this. They needed weight. Age is like, it'll be 8 weeks, I think. Weight is going to be about 2 pounds. Breed, tuxedo. Name, not telling you. Oh, sex, female. Okay, cool. VJ says, tell me how I can bypass government plus intelligence surveillance completely. Fuck if I know. Live in a cabin in the middle of nowhere, I suppose. Not legal advice, though. Yeah, Eterna says the fakes have... Oh, wait, hold on. Genuinely, though, just use an AI-generated UK driving license. They'll accept it, and it can literally be an ID for Keanu Reeves or something. Or you can buy fake ones online for $30. Not legal advice. Yeah, someone says we don't want Diana to get disappeared. Please, I just got here. I'm only 26 years old, 27 almost. Giving at least a little bit more time to enjoy my kittens. Let's see. I think, if anything, my leasing office is just gonna really love the photos of these teeny little kittens that we have that are on the internet. Let's see. And then the other one. Size, extra small. Age, little guy. Age, baby. There we go. Oh, breed is domestic short hair. That's it. Okay, cool. Not tuxedo. That is not a breed. Domestic short hair. These two cats also look the exact fucking same. They're both just, they have slightly different amounts of white on the tips of their toes. So it's age, little guy, size, cat. That's literally, yeah, it's, the size is listed as extra small, which is the cutest little thing. And the like, I don't know, they're like palm size. They're so cute. Oh yeah, we've gone into basic, says Matt. You learn that 99% of military items are broken. When we buy stuff, we stay away from stuff that says military grade or tested. Really? Oh shit, I have heard that before. That's not the first time I've heard that. What was that one IT crowd joke from forever ago where Moss like pulls out a fire hydrant and he's like, oh my god, this fire hydrant just made all the fire worse. And then he looks at the side label and it says like made in the UK or made in Britain or something. And he's like, that'd be why. And then just tosses it into the rest of the fire. It's so good. I love the IT crowd. You guys should binge watch that at some point if you ever get the chance. Oh yeah, let's see. Duke says, I love kittens, but I'm also aware of how clumsy I am. I find myself treading very carefully. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna like, I'm so worried about sleeping in the same room as the cats. Because what if I accidentally roll over my sleep and then like smush their little paws or something? I would feel so sad. Also, Paul says, I love the IT crowd, especially Richard Ayoade. Ayoade, is it? Ayoade? Ayoade, I think. Yeah, no, he's fucking hilarious. He's also a really good comedian. Like, if you see him on improvisation shows or like, it's only ever in the UK. I don't know if he sets foot in America. But like little UK talk shows and things like that, he's fucking funny. Oh yeah, DB says, I mean, you'd hear a yelp, hopefully. I hope so. They're so small. They're so teeny. I'm scared. I also only got one bed because I figured that they could like both cuddle up together, and they have the mother of all cat trees too. It's like, it's my height. And it's in the middle of the, oh my god, what do you call it? Middle of my living room. It's supposed to be a dining room, but I don't have a dining room table, so I just slapped it down in the middle there and called it good. Let's see. Michael says, until they're old enough, they should sleep in their own contained bed. Oh, okay, gotcha. I mean, probably won't have an issue with that. Apparently, the kittens that I have are pretty, like, one of them, the girl, is, like, super quiet and just, like, doesn't really, she's very shy, almost. And then the person who's currently holding them in foster care, the shelter, basically was like, yeah, you should also get her brother, who's incredibly energetic and kind of a troublemaker, so that way their personalities will kind of like even out over time. It's also really good to get 2 cats from the same litter, apparently. So Jordan says, just take Odin's cat's name. Oh my god, Turnip. Did you just steal Turnip's name? I could never. Turnip is too cute. It's gonna be so cute though. Oh my god, I'm gonna host a Worlds Apart episode and then just hold up both the kittens and then have like Odin hold up Turnip and have them talk to each other, and then that'll just be the podcast. We'll put it out as like a mini episode or just like a highlight only on YouTube or something. That'd be so cute. World Support is back, by the way. We had a bit of a kind of like a winter break. It was a month delayed only because we were actually recording. Like we basically took December off. And so that was like a delay. We started reposting again on Tuesday. So if you guys want, our first episode of 2026 is up now. And in the meantime, I will probably skedaddle for now. It was great talking to you guys as usual. Thank you so much for hanging out for this little half-hour stream. Once every Thursday, we just kind of yap and chat and all that sort of stuff. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for all the subscribes and hanging out and chatting with me. And I will see you guys on Monday on Twitch, where you will play Quarantine Zone with me. So if you guys want to be a zombie in the Quarantine Zone, let me know. Come join Twitch on Monday, 5 o'clock, and we will get you in there. But in the meantime, bye-bye.